You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily, and you also know that we are still in the Heritage Month, and we are just learning and refreshing our memories on anything and everything that make us Ghanaians. And I have here with me our historian Kweku Darko Ankra. Kweku, welcome to Breakfast Daily once again. Today we are looking at something very unique, very significant. When it comes to marks on our faces, and it appears, I'm not too sure if it's something that really cuts across the whole of Ghana. But I know that where I come from, the Ashanti region, we have tribal marks. Northern Ghana also have same. Some are bigger than others, some are deeper than others, and I'm sure all these communicate something, to people. So for the benefit of people who might not be too familiar with what we are talking about, what exactly, just put it in perspective for us, are tribal marks?
So to call it tribal mark is a misnomer.
Okay.
So it's an ethnic identification mark.
Okay,
so
all right.
Those things
ethnic identification mark. Okay.
So white people use a term scarification because they do not understand. It is ethnic identification mark, but it all forms part of what is called bodily marks.
Okay.
So the human body back in the day is not only just what you carry, but it is also a sort of an archival site for documenting information.
Okay.
So the human body, for instance, if you watch the movie Black Panther,
yes,
you see the gentleman who came to fight the Black Panther to challenge for the kingdom's rulership. Whenever he killed a person, he marked his hand.
Yes.
It is the cultural belief of the people within the Nilotes, the Nilotes from the Ethiopia all the way down to Uganda. When a person goes to battle or he's defending his cattle and he fight and kill the enemy person that attacked, he mark his body as a form of mark just to identify them. So the mark you see on their body represent the number of people he has killed on the body.
Okay.
That is the evidence of his heroism, as a person. So the body is there.
Okay.
So this is it means it is not only for just the facial and other things. So I have a photo of other African countries before we proceed to even Ghana and talk about identification. You can show some of the African distance where they have different tribal marks.
Okay, so where is this one from?
So this one is not from the African one. So this one is part of identification mark. You see about 3 sort of thing here on the left cheek. He has that form. So I developed the file I gave him into different forms. So that is what I'm coming into.
Okay.
You ask about what does it represent?
Yes.
So we have the identification mark. So one is for identification.
Okay.
So back in the day, the Akans, they have 3 horizontal line 1, 2, 3 on the right cheek. Okay, so the Fantis also have 3 vertical lines right here getting to where the ear is. Okay. Back in the day they do have
so
that
what
one.
We have on the screen,
so this is what we call beautification marks. So
beautification,
yes, so some are done for beautification,
interesting.
Some are done for how do you call it? For the purposes of because the person was sick, like we have the Donko mark.
Yeah.
And the meaning of Donko is
slave.
Love don't go or do inko. Okay.
But slave.
Yes,
can also
and
be
it became a term for a slave.
Okay.
It means love don't go or do inko. So because the child keeps on dying. So when you are giving that mark, so I have one of Honorable E.T. Mensah and other one on identification mark, which I don't know. The photos are not representing what we are saying.
But we can talk about them as we move on.
Okay. So, for instance, this is not visible for me. So, when we have the ethnic, the Donko marks, which is for sort of reincarnation. Okay. People who die and they go, we call them Kosamba. Okay. Okay, or Kosamaba. So in English we say going and coming child. Okay. Kosamba. Or Bejina. Okay. Come to stay child. They also have that Donko marks on their face. So Honorable E.T. Mensah now member of Council of State,
yes,
he has that mark on the cheek.
So
that is what that is Donko.
Okay.
That is, so when you give that mark, it sort of hide the identity of the child from the spiritual mother or the spiritual parent who might want to come for the child and send him from the real world to the ancestral world. That's what man do. So that is why they make that form of scarification on the face. And again, apart from that, we have one also for medicinal purposes, medical purposes. So a child may be suffering from convulsion. That one, you see just one mark. There's a famous Ghanaian catwalk called Belinda. So this is Belinda Bedu, who is a catwalk. You see her, that is what you say, Osura Tonoso. And now it is also used for beautification. So you see people with this, when they were kids, they used to have that convulsion and that sort of thing. So it is used to mark there. And then they put a medicine in it to heal the child.
So how different is that from this?
So this one you see is 2.
Yes.
This one also shows you that depending upon the degree of the suffering of the child, normally these 2 marks are done. So these students have that too as a mark, depending upon the community you are coming from. Why the accounts generally do not like cutting too much, for instance, even among the Ashantis, for a person from the royal household or like the Asantehene, there is no need for a knife to touch his skin because or your dish here, the one who owns the boundary. Okay, so as a person who owns the boundary, no knife must touch. Any knife that touches his skin means he is deformed and it disqualifies him from office. That is why, for instance, in Ashanti, for you to become a king, you need not to be circumcised, because by circumcising you are what? You have been deformed.
As well, the Asantehenes are not.
So yes,
even today.
I should think so, because that was the cultural performance. If you go back to the installation of Asantehene Adman Prempeh II, that was the thing that they brought against him, that he has been circumcised, and as a result, he cannot occupy the office.
And then
committee of inquiry was set up to investigate where one of the colonial doctors was brought to inspect, and then a lot of the factions who were against installation, you go and watch whether it is intact or not, just to show, because as a true royal, knife must not cut you. It's very, very important.
Interesting.
And in some part of the
you should also investigate for us to know if this practice is still.
Why are you interested in that?
No, because I want to know my culture.
It is true. That is one of the arguments against cutting. Okay, there, if you go to Europe, there are a group called intactivists who believe that children do not have the requisite mental capacity. Okay, we say dolly incapax to make a decision. So by cutting them while they are kids, you are abusing them. You don't ask them, because when studies have found that the uncircumcised people are able to impress more during coitus sex, okay, rather than a person whose own has been circumcised.
Oh, really?
So yes, based on that, some of these people are saying that, you know, anyway, let's leave it there and come back to what we are doing.
I don't know why Albert and Evans are so excited about this.
So we talk about one for identification, one for the ethnic identity. The identity shows, today people will say, what is the relevance? Back in the day, when there was a social formation and inter-ethnic warfare, the identification of your mark will let the person know whether you belong to him or not. When you travel, your mark alone will show somebody who comes from your community that, oh, that is my brother, we share this, then he will be a good host to you.
But what is the concept behind, you know, in northern Ghana, they seem to have very deeper, very wide, quite a lot, you know, sometimes somebody's face has marks all over.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes some are designs.
Yeah, just for identification.
Aesthetic design. Some, it's evolved. Some are also, as I said, for the reincarnated children. Sometimes they even do one on the eye. So
we have one like that.
Yes. So these ones like that are there. I wish you would bring one. There's another one too for spiritual groups. When you are, you know, initiated, the initiated marks will also be done on you. So you should go to the spiritual initiation where there's a young girl who is going through initiation, and then he has had his body all tagged. So This woman, for instance, also have an initiation mark on their face.
Okay.
It belongs to the Mami Water court. There's
How do you know
more on that.
How do you know Mami Water marks?
Oh, I know, because I have been there and
Now
I've
you-
traveled them.
you-
Don't worry. So you should move. You should move.
No, now you begin to sound
You
scary.
should move.
Okay, and these ones?
So this one too, you see a priest. So you see the initiation mark on his face.
And on the head as
On
well.
the head,
right?
actually.
Yeah.
So all these things shows you the rigorous. These are Mami Water Court members. You see the sign on the first. So this was during the Epe festival at Benin. They moved from Ghana and went there. So you see this girl too has the initiation mark right there. You should move on. The one that I wanted to come, you should move. You should move to the girl. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is the initiation. Okay, so you see the body is cut all over.
Yeah.
So we go to communities, you see certain traditional priests. You should move on. She has a lot of photos on her, different types. So you should roll on this lady. So you see her back.
Yes.
It's cut all over, across. So these are the initiation mark. You see this one too, another initiation mark.
Yeah.
So all these marks also shows you the kind of cult you belong. You could belong to Yeve cult, you could belong to Mami Water cult, you could belong to among the Akantegere or any of them that you belong. These marks identify.
Are we
you.
still doing this today?
It is still there because you don't go to the community. Those who are in the traditional Akom, Tigare, and the rest, they still have the initiation mark going on today. Those who are in the shrines all over the Volta Ewe communities, northern communities, everywhere, still the initiation marks are still there because that is what's to identify you as a member of that
my
group.
gosh.
So you see this one, the stomach, is also designed to show you that he has been initiated into a cult. So there is more of those photos.
I mean, for want of a better word, this looks kind of barbaric.
To you, because your ability to withstand some of this pain, the endurance of this pain, also shows your ability to hold the secrets that is held sacred by this group of people.
Wow.
It is not for ordinary people. It is for those who are chosen. So there are certain cultural performances you will not understand. Back in the day, for example, among the Fulani, I have the Fulani ones there. If you look at the Fulanis, for instance, if you want to marry a woman,
Yeah.
the koboko, you must be given about the koboko. You see the horse whip? You must be given about 36 lashes on your back. If you do not run before you will be given a woman.
To prove what?
To prove that you can take care of the woman when you are moving all the way from Kano to Asante Mampong, Ejoso, with your cattle to graze, and you enter someone's farm, and he's coming to beat you. If you are not strong to fight, and be able to run and resist pain when you are being tortured, how can you protect your wife? And it is for this reason, knowing them that they move around and so on. That is why you have that ritual function. So if you are a guy who is not strong and they whip you only 2 lashes and you take to your heels, it means you can't protect the woman and you don't deserve the woman. So some of these cultural issues like this, the curtains you see and so on, all has a role to play for beautification, for ethnic identity. In fact, I have one on Ashanti back in the day on the funerary heads where it shows a lot of the ancient mark of the one of the funerary head at Trofenyeman, one at Adansi, all of them showing the mark on the Akan faces the way we used to have our own. These days, most of the Akan marks are not there.
Yeah.
Now only the Shuru or the conversion type, which is just 1 year, which people have now turned it into beautification mark because they have to make use of it. And in fact, indeed, it could be beautiful. Some of them too, as I told you, it is intentionally done to disfigure the person so that the spiritual parent who want to come as soon as you see the body, say, look at the way they've destroyed my child. I won't take him again. So let him leave.
Okay,
Then
so
he
that
goes.
is it.
That explains why they do that sort of thing you are talking about, that damage. It is just to disfigure the person from. So in can just as we give certain names.
Yeah.
So Wenchendi, Let them share and eat. So when the mother comes and says, my child pa is called Wechedi, then the spiritual mother will go. So again, they do it in the body marks. So I can't call it ejira. What gonna come? So when you make that ejira, you have marked. Two, when they also do some of them, people also bring it back from death, okay? Particularly some part of the body. When the person, they realize that you are going and coming and they notice you, they give you a mark.
Okay, so that when you come back,
you are not able to go say, so, that is the guy. Then,
wow,
so all these marks have their meaning. It is not just that somebody is just fond of it and is deciding to do that.
They are all forms of communication.
Very good. So as you
well,
know,
you know, I mean, when you're having fun, time runs so fast, and there's all time for us. Thank you very much, Kweku,
thank you too.
for this information. This has been Breakfast Daily on City TV.